Imagine dedicating yourself to uncovering potential financial wrongdoings, only to be met with a wall of silence and ultimately, resignation. That's precisely what happened at the Square Kilometre Array (SKA) Observatory in Western Australia, a groundbreaking project aiming to map the universe's infancy. A whistleblower raised serious concerns about financial mismanagement within the organisation, but an independent inquiry has concluded there's no credible evidence to support the claims. But here's where it gets controversial: the whistleblower isn't backing down, alleging a cover-up and a culture of suppressed transparency. The SKA Observatory, responsible for the Square Kilometre Array, a massive radio telescope project in the Australian outback, faced allegations of financial irregularities earlier this year. These allegations, reported by Guardian Australia in August, included claims of funds lost through external trading accounts and questionable procurement practices. These were serious claims, potentially jeopardizing the integrity of a multi-billion-dollar international scientific endeavor. On Monday, the SKA Observatory released the findings of an internal investigation conducted under its whistleblower policy. The report stated that none of the whistleblowers' allegations were substantiated. The whistleblower, however, promptly resigned in protest, suggesting a deeper problem within the SKA's operational structure. According to Dr. Filippo Zerbi, the SKAO Council Chair, the organisation commissioned the UK Office of International Law firm Squire Patton Boggs, SPB, to conduct an external investigation after receiving the initial disclosures in March. And this is the part most people miss. The whistleblower reportedly objected to SPB's involvement, citing a potential conflict of interest because SKAO was an existing client of the firm. This raises a critical question: can an investigation truly be impartial when the investigating firm has a pre-existing relationship with the organization being investigated? Dr. Zerbi attempted to address this concern, stating that strict barriers between SPB teams were put in place to ensure full impartiality of the process. He further emphasized that the report found that none of the allegations were upheld, and that the whistleblower fundamentally misunderstood accepted financial and accounting practices. Zerbi also claimed SPB had unrestricted access to all SKAO materials, personnel, and resources, and could engage external experts as needed. He asserted SPB confirmed the findings were solely their own, based on documentation, records, communications, and interviews. However, the resigning whistleblower paints a very different picture. In a letter addressed to the member nations of the SKAO, the whistleblower claimed constructive dismissal after raising the concerns. He further stated that the handling of his case reflects a broader issue within the organization, a culture where accountability is punished and transparency is suppressed. The case is now reportedly the subject of an internal employment tribunal. This allegation is a serious indictment of the SKAO's ethical standards and internal governance. Despite the controversy, Dr. Zerbi maintains that the situation demonstrates the strength of the SKAO as an organization and its policies. He stated that the matter was addressed fairly and externally, following best practices, and that SKAO staff and stakeholders should feel confident in the observatory's transparency and oversight at all levels. For context, the SKAO is a monumental scientific project, described as one of the most significant of the 21st century. It aims to map the first billion years of the universe. Comprising 16 member nations and costing €2 billion, $3.6 billion Australian dollars, the SKA includes telescopes in both Australia and South Africa. The Australian government has invested significantly in the project, with contributions exceeding $475 million between 2021 and 2025. However, the Australian government's contribution has also increased by over $150 million from 2020 to 2024 compared to the initial budget, partly due to funding shortfalls. The SKA telescope in Western Australia is currently operating at a fraction of its capacity, having captured its first images of distant galaxies last year. The organisation has acknowledged that the project's scope and schedule are under constant review. So, what do you make of all this? Was the investigation truly impartial, as the SKAO claims? Or did the whistleblower uncover something significant that the organization is trying to bury? Is it possible to maintain true transparency when dealing with projects of this scale and complexity? Share your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Is this a case of a disgruntled employee, or a genuine concern for financial integrity within a major scientific project. What safeguards should be in place to protect whistleblowers in these situations?